Hey guys, what's up here? Here's another video I wanted to make. Basically, just going over all the Xbox games I've played since 2011. To give you context, I originally had a previous account on my 360, and basically it was one from like 2006 to 7 to like 2011, because late 2010, early 2011, when I was like I don't know, 11 or 12, friggin' people on OG Model Warfare 2 were like, hey kid, I'll give you like cheats for your console if you like delete everything on your HDD drive. So that's basically what I did. And being little, I didn't know what I was doing. So I deleted like all the data, all the save footage, like anything on that HDD for the 360 that I originally accomplished back then. So we had to make a new account. It's bitter sad, but doesn't stop me from playing video games. So, first game I played with this new account is Marvel vs. Capcom 3. This is definitely one of those games back then that people were playing a lot, and it was just pretty cool. I mean, it's Marvel vs. Capcom, so it's pretty good fighting game. I like the art direction. I like the gameplay mechanics, the boss fights and everything. Then we got Doritos Crash Course, the most random like Xbox 360 indie game at the time, along with Harm's Way, both sponsored by Doritos. But actually, I can't remember too much from both of these games. I think one is a tower defense, and then the other is just like get to the finish line, Ninja Warrior goal, whatever. Resident Evil 5. I definitely played a lot of this game on the 360 back then, especially renting it from Blockbuster. I remember when I was little, I was like, I don't want to return this game, so I like replaced the disc inside of it with like a movie that I also rented from Blockbuster, and I don't think they ever noticed. Those poor Blockbuster employees. Two Worlds 2. This is a very, very niche and like obscure game back then in the 360 era. I don't remember. I remember watching Pro Jared review the game on it. I was just like, yeah, this game sucks. Even as a kid, I knew this game was bad, but it was just like cool at the same time, but like in a cheesy bad way. Same thing with Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. This is definitely one of the lesser Resident Evil games favored in the community. I don't think it is necessarily as bad as like Six or Dead Aim per se. I think it's just like it was trying to do something, but at the same time, it was just conflicting too much, because it takes place during Resident Evil 2, but you're playing a band of Umbrella mercenaries and you're just like taking down these people, and you can like make choices in the game, like whether to save Leon or save Claire or shoot Leon, shoot Claire. Street Fighter X Tekken. I definitely was pretty hyped for this game because I mean, come on, it's Street Fighter and Tekken, like two of the biggest fighting games of franchises in video game history. To have a game where you play both of them at the same time, it's just really awesome. I also remember at the time it was pretty controversial because they locked customization and characters on the locked disc, and that was just a whole fiasco. But I don't remember too much. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is a very good game. I used to play a lot of Assassin's Creed on 360. Started with the first, and then the second, and then Brotherhood. I think what really stumped me was I can't remember if this was Brotherhood or Revelations, but basically just like navigating the airplane, and that was just a like a stump moment that I never realized that can impact my career. I don't know what Def Jam Rap Star is. I'm not sure why that's on there. I think my sister played it or whatever when she had borrowed my 360 for a bit. So let's go on to Resident Evil 6. So this is like 2012 era, because we're about to get into games from that era. I honestly think Resident Evil 6 isn't that bad. Like, sure, there are some questionable decisions, I only played Chris's campaign, so hence the 7% completed. Because honestly, that campaign took like me like 4 hours to beat because it's just nonstop action adventure. It's just run and cover, shoot, run and cover, shoot, run and cover, shoot. Leon's campaign was pretty difficult because it's all survival horror, but they made it even like harder than it should have been. And I didn't get much else in this game either, so yeah, that's about it. Dead Island, another one of the games I played in middle school. I remember loving the heck out of this game. This is one of those good games, a zombie game, like at the time that people were raving about. I mean, despite like the false trailer that was promoted, I don't think it really hindered my ability to play the game. I just remember like going online and some random gives me like an overpowered shotgun, and you can be able to beat like the final boss in like less than 5 seconds, which is pretty funny. Dance Central, I think Dance Central is just one of those like niche games that doesn't get a lot of the respect or credit because this works with the Xbox Connect, and the Connect for this game works really really well. Like it actually works. It's technologically advanced. I highly recommend it back at the time when I was just doing a lot. And then you got Two Worlds. This Two Worlds 2. I played a lot of this game. It's pretty bad. I didn't care. Honestly, it was just, you know, Two Worlds, it's I don't know how to describe it. It's not Oblivion on steroids. It's something else. Dishonored, I played Dishonored when it first came out. It was just one of those like games where I was pretty awestruck, but I wasn't sure what to do. Put it down for like 10 minutes, I think, because I wasn't really into stealth games at the time. My brain was still developing. Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition. I definitely remember getting this one. I loved this version of Street Fighter 4. It's definitely one of my favorite. I like the addition of more characters to the roster, like the like advanced campaign single player mode, and just like a lot of like the moves they added in the game, which is pretty cool because now like each fighter has like what like two special moves. Mass Effect 3. I also played this on launch. This was at the time when my brain was like, I'm not sure how RPGs work, but I'll let the game decide it for me, which is a weird accessibility option to have the game pick like options for you in an RPG. Like if you don't want to think about it too much or anything. Honestly, I think that playthrough was pretty chaotic. I think a lot of people died. Mortal Kombat. This is 2009 Kombat, I think. So I was pretty dope and excited for when Mortal Kombat came back because it was just one of those games you had to play. It's a fighting game, same like Street Fighter. I definitely liked the graphics at the time. I definitely liked the story. It was kind of weird, but it was pretty cheeky fun. And being able to play a Scorpion and Sub Zero is like amazing. Pretty, pretty cool. I don't think Mortal Kombat 2009 will ever capture that feeling of late 2000s, early 2010s ever again. Far Cry 3, this is another game that I also played a lot when it came out and very inappropriate as a child. I was like, what, like 12, 13 years old when this game came out, so I probably shouldn't have been playing it. Well, then again, what kid was allowed to play M-rated games, especially if it was like GTA? I like Far Cry 3. I don't think it's like the best in the series. I think it really does a lot of things right, but later on the sequels try to mimic or copy what it was trying to do instead of doing their own thing. Because what makes Far Cry a Far Cry game is it's like that player exploration, just roaming around doing side quests, but also having like a very compelling character that you care about, and like the villains in the game. I mean, now, like in 2025, I respect Voss, Mink Ping, and Joseph Seed a lot, but I don't think Gustav is like, or Anton, yeah, that's his name, Anton from Far Cry 6. I don't think those villains like later on really are that praiseworthy. I think they try to nostalgia bait with like you saying, "Oh, hey, you remember these villains? Let's bring them back and look at a DLC." You know, it's just I don't know Ubisoft. Battle Block Theater. This is a really fun and hilarious indie game when it came out. I mean, my friend and I used to play this a lot, and it was just like, you know, it's just one of those games you had to like play with a friend, and you'll have like a good time just enjoying it. You know, it's really funny. I honestly recommend it. It has like a lot of humor and wit into it, a lot of character. Same with Happy Wars. Happy Wars was just one of those arcade games that my friend and I used to play a lot. It was really fun. I mean, it was like Ground Wars, but like in full on like siege scale. You know, it was pretty fun running around the map with like 20 other people and just like beating the crap out of each other. I don't think not many people know Happy Wars. I think it's just one of those like obscure arcade games you see in the 360 days. Halo 3. So I originally had like almost all the achievements for the game. Back when before I deleted my HGD on purpose, I had like all the VidMaster achievements. I had all the hard multiplayer achievements you get, like running someone over the mongoose or getting Spartan laser 2 kills in 1. Honestly, like this just reminds me of how dumb and naive I was as a child, just deleting all the HDD storage on my 360 when I didn't know I was getting it to. So, but believe me when I said that, I actually earned recon back in the day. So don't worry about them. Sniper Elite V2. This is the first Sniper Elite game I played, and this was what get me into the franchise because honestly, I think what gravitated me was the ability. Not only are you like a sniper, but also just like the amount of crap you can pull off for like X-ray kills, like in Mortal Kombat, but just like in the most like realistic and absurd amount of ways. Like you can shoot somebody in the heart, the lungs, the kidney, even the testicles, which is really funny. I thought that was a weird. I think it's just like one of those like hilarious game mechanics that I have to put in like every Sniper Elite game after that. Honestly, really recommend it. I haven't played the remaster or anything. Left 4 Dead 2. This is another game I used to play a lot alongside Left 4 Dead 1 on my 360. Sorry about that. Left 4 Dead 2, definitely an improvement on the sequel. I think right now I appreciate a lot more than Left 4 Dead 1. Like, Left 4 Dead 1 was more like testing the water grounds, and then Left 4 Dead 2, the following year, was just basically like, hey, let's turn the notch by like 200, with like the weapons, the characters, the environments, and it's just honestly a good time. A really good co op shooter. Model Warfare 2, 2009, because I have to specify by the year because there's two of them. This is just that game that really started this all with like being dumb and naive as a child, and it's just like, why would you do this? Honestly, I appreciate it a lot. I remember playing a lot of Xbox Live back then in like 2009, 2010. It's a good time. Assassin's Creed Revelations. I think the reason why I have this game is because I accidentally purchased it on Xbox Live with my Microsoft points, and I was just like, oh no. And then I was like, oh, I guess I have to play it then. I like the trailer. The trailer for Assassin's Creed Revelations is pretty good. The gameplay mechanic, I mean, the hook. What was it? What was that like new thing you can climb now? It was like the hook blade or whatever, where you like climb up a wall, but it's a hook. Like they try to do a tongue-in-cheek humor for that. Skyrim, definitely played a lot of this when I was young. I mean, one of the reasons why I got into RPGs, both sides, Skyrim and Oblivion, just like amazing world at the time when like Bethesda was at its like, I guess you can call it peak reputation with their games, and just how like so much we took for granted at the time, you know, in like 2011, 2012. Play like all the DLCs. Never got all the achievements for this, but it was pretty good. Halo 4, I remember being excited for this. I was in like sixth grade. It was just like a fun time, you know, just getting to play the next trilogy despite whether people hate it or not. I just remember when I didn't even get the game like before it came out, and my friend already spoiled it to me saying, "Oh, Noah, like freaking Cortana dies," and I was just like, "What?" I was like, "Why?" I was like, "Bro, like, why did you spoil the game for me? I didn't even get to play it." Honestly, good. Assassin's Creed 3, honestly, I think this game isn't as bad as people make it out to be. I don't think it's the worst yet. I mean, we have Shadows for that now, but Assassin's Creed 3, I remember playing it. I just like the American Revolution setting and just how like cinematic it was, but the storyline could have been better, you know. I don't know, like how they dealt with Desmond and his arc. It's just weird. Model Warfare 3, same thing. I think I played this around 2011 during the Modern Warfare 3 versus Battlefield 3 war. Well, if you could call it online, like it was a weird and fun time for both FPSs. It was just like, are you willing to play Modern Warfare 3 or Battlefield 3? Because one game has like this and the other game has that. I think this game is a testament of the time of 2011. You know, Left 4 Dead, I mean, same thing with Left 4 Dead 2. I remember playing this game as a lot. I mean, it was just one of those like addicting games that you always come back and you're just wanting to try like one more run if you want to get like those achievements, like not be able to get like hit in a certain run or not be able to die, you know. I think Valve really set the standard with Turtle Rock Studios on how like co-op games should be. Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. I remember when this game came out, I was pretty excited for it too, just like Halo 4. My friend and I used to play this a lot on co-op, and it was just like a blast to be able to play the first game, but like in like these nice, pretty detailed graphics, which I think people will dispute over whether that's true integrity or not, but I digress. I think the game having that ability to change graphics from old to new and new to old is just mind blowing. Like it's absolutely stellar. Modern Warfare, I can't remember much from it. I know it was just one of those games you played in 2008 era when the internet was like when the internet was young and it was just like, you know, it was a good time, you know, like this was the game that really acclaimed audiences and like the gaming industry and was just like, hey, we could do something like cool for once, you know, instead of just duty and honor. It was more like action blockbustery. Honestly, think this is one of the better games back then. Minecraft Xbox 360 edition. So at the time when I got this, there wasn't Minecraft on Xbox yet. There was Minecraft on PC when it was in its beta. I think it was beta 1.3. I remember specifically the most, but when it was announced that Mojang were gonna put Minecraft on the Xbox, I was really ecstatic because it was just one of those fun sandbox games that you come back to every day. You just work on it. Like honestly, this game is really like innovating and more popular than any other game at the time, which is really weird and really cool because Minecraft today is just a global market and it's what people come back to, you know. Like there's no other game like Minecraft that you can come back and be like, "Oh, I want to spend 3 hours today building a house." Props to Mojang and Notch. Good on them. The Orange Box. I only heard about this because I remember in 2013, 2014, when I befriended one of my friends at school, I went over to his house and he had a laptop with Team Fortress 2 on it. And Team Fortress 2 was one of those games I got really invested into, with Valve and their games. So I was like, oh, well, I wonder if Team Fortress 2 is on the 360. And when did you know the orange box is the answer to that? Not only does it have Half-Life 2 with both episodes, but also Portal as well. Portal, like one of the greatest like puzzle games in like our generation. But also Team Fortress 2. And let me tell you, Team Fortress 2 on the 360 is very, very vanilla. Like, there are no hats, there is no trading, there is no any of what it is today. It was just plain as plain can be, but it was so fun and so memorable. Like, just being able to play it for the first time, trying to figure out how each class works. I honestly think the Orange Box was a good time for me. Call of Duty Ghosts. Oh, this one is a roughie because this is when I traded my 360 for the Xbox One when it came out on November 22nd, 2013, which, by the way, is like 50 years after JFK's assassination, so that should tell you something. Anyway, this game made a lot of mixed reception. Not many people liked it. It was Call of Duty Ghosts. Everybody memed on it. My friend and I got into the rope and we played it. We thought it was pretty bad at the time. Honestly, there isn't much to say. I mean, it's just Call of Duty Ghosts. Like, there's no Call of Duty game out there after Black Ops 2 that really made like everything just like go downwards. It's just really funny, honestly. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. This is one of, if not the first games I played on the Xbox One when I got it in November 22nd. I absolutely love it. It's one of the best Assassin's Creed games ever. The graphics at the time were really impressive. I absolutely loved like how gorgeous and ambience it was, the water, like the sailing, like honestly, like the leap from Assassin's Creed 3 to 4 was just like noticeable. Like you could actually tell there was a technological advance in both gameplay and fidelity wise. And I honestly think it's one of the better games out of the series that I love. I think I 100%ed it like in the storyline. That took me forever, so I got like Altair's costume and everything. However, I don't think I got like all the achievements for the game because you had to like go out your way to fight like four legendary Men of Wars, which by the way are really tough. If I could go back and replay the game, I would and try to beat those Men of Wars. Halo Spartan Assault. So this was one of those games that you see like hanging around on the marketplace, and you're just like, hey, I want to try this out. Turns out it's a top-down shooter. It's not a traditional Halo game. It's one of those arcade spin-off games, which really took me by surprise because I didn't think that they turned something like an FPS into an arcade top-down shooter. I think it kind of works in some areas, but unless you're like a big fan of that genre, you'll probably love it. I didn't invest much time into it. Strike Suit Zero Director's Cut. Again, I think this was one of those games where I was just curious, and I was just like, what is this? I can't remember too much, so honestly, I don't have anything to say about it. Project Spark. Now, this was a game that caught me and my friend's attention because it was one of those sandbox games like Minecraft, but instead you can like do whatever you want. You can set the stage, you can add the scripts, you can set the AI, the NPCs, you can make worlds. Like again, this is one of those games that you had to try it and see whether you like it or not, and it was just I wouldn't call it like innovative. I would just say it's rather like curious, like what is this game about? And that's the fun thing with indie games is you never know like what these games are going to be about, if it's going to be fun, repetitive, it's going to be hard, difficult, it's going to be challenging. Same thing with Volgar the Viking. This game is really hard. My friend told me that it was basically like Dark Souls, but like 2D sprite, and I played it for like about 5 minutes or 20, and yeah, it definitely is hard. Wouldn't recommend it unless you're like really good at these games, you know. Titanfall. This is also one of the big Xbox One games that I remember playing at the time because I mean it was advertised everywhere. Like people were really excited for Titanfall. It was just one of those like games that was going to come out and it was going to change how like FPS games were going to work. Needless to say, from what I recall, I don't think there was barely a campaign of what happening, but the multiplayer it was pretty fun, you know, run around the walls and shoot people and like mech do like Titan fights and you know how it was advertised. I honestly didn't stick around its life cycle much. It was just one of those experiences that I got on and just played, you know, and then I was just done. Terraria. The only reason why I know this game is because my friend told me it was basically 2D Minecraft. I don't think it's 2D Minecraft. I think it's something on its own. That's what I thought initially at first. It was 2D Minecraft, but then when I played it, it was just like, oh my god, what is this? Why is everything pixelated in 2D? 2D, like, what do I do? Yeah, I don't think it's just one of those games that worked with me, you know. And honestly, I think it's better for that because I know there's a lot of Terraria fans out there, and I know it's gonna disappoint some people. They're gonna be like, "Oh, why aren't you playing this game? Or why aren't you giving it a second chance?" Honestly, I could have give you a better answer, but it's just one of those games that I don't think I can get into. Borderlands, the pre-sequel. So I think this was early 2014 or something, early 2015. No, early 2014. It was 2014 because I got a copy of the Handsome Collection from GameStop. I think I rented it. It had two and prequel on there. And honestly, I think I rather play two than the pre-sequel. Two far is by far more funnier and like entertaining than the pre-sequel. The pre-sequel is just basically like extra content, background lore, and like the setting. I tried to get into it like multiple times, but I honestly just couldn't. It's just I don't know why. Like the gameplay and the presentation, it was just weird. Like you know, it's like it's a pre-sequel, but I don't know. It's just it didn't like fit by right with me. The only reason I was able to get by two is because I persevered and I learned from my mistakes. You know, of like using elemental weapons against certain enemies and just like being a looter shooter game. This was like my first entry in the Borderlands series. I didn't play Borderlands 1 or anything. I just played 2 and it was like a far better experience for me. Killer Instinct. So the reboot of Killer Instinct, I played it. I mean, like I wasn't aware of what Killer Instinct was. It was just one of those games I happened to see on like the Xbox hub, and I was just like, "Oh, I wonder what this game is about." It's a fighting game, you know. It's made by Rare back in like the '90s, but they rebooted it, and like, oh look, the Arbiter from Halo 5 is in it. Like, I don't know. It's pretty hard for me to play this game. I'm not really good at fighting games. However, it's pretty cool that they rebooted it, you know, and just get it back on the radar for everyone to see. I mean, if you like Killer Instinct, you like Killer Instinct. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, running the theme of just me playing Call of Duty games early on. I remember getting this for Christmas. It was alright. I mean, the whole exo suits and jumping was just pretty weird. I'm not sure why Kevin Spacey was in this game after like everything now with like his PR and everything. I didn't play Exo Zombies because you had to buy the DLC for the game, so I was just pretty bummed right there. I don't know. I think it's pretty forgettable. I mean, they try to do something with like this whole new futuristic COD thing, but I don't know. It's just pretty weird, you know. Dark Souls 2, The Scholar of the First Sin. This is the first Dark Souls game I ever played. And honestly, I love it. I don't care what anybody says. I love Dark Souls 2. I think it's deviant from the rest of the series. It's trying to do its own thing. It doesn't have to rely on the first game or the third game for lore, contextual background. Many people will complain and say that it's terrible because it's not directed by Miyazaki. It's directed by like somebody else, and the art direction and the style was just very weird. I honestly think this game getting me into the franchise, as hard as it can be for the first time, I remember just being stumped. I think it really taught me the philosophy core of what makes Dark Souls in that franchise just the way it is notoriously today. Honestly, I think I would love to go back and play this game and beat it someday, because it's just an experience, it was rather exciting. Happy Wars on the Xbox One, just like the 360, it was pretty cool that this fun little indie game, arcade game, whatever you call it, was on the next gen. My friend and I played it a lot, had a good time. Sniper Elite 3, when I played this game, it was pretty cool. I mean, it was pretty cool to see Sniper Elite in the next gen and just like a new setting, the African theater, and it was like rather cool. I remember buying I think it was the Game of the Year edition or something like that. It had like all the extra stuff in it, and for multiplayer, I played it. It was pretty cool. Multiplayer was alright. I think this is the first multiplayer in the Sniper Elite game. Metro Redux. This is one of the reasons I got into Metro. I got this at GameStop just as well. It's a remastered, redefined edition of the first game, Metro 2033, and Metro Last Light. And both of them are really stellar and like opposites of each other because the first one was rather slow. It was rather an introduction to the world, like getting to know the bears and people. And then the sequel, Last Light, was basically like, okay, now that you're familiar with what's gonna happen next, we're gonna take on some new Eastern themes and philosophies of war and radiation and humanity within the underground. I honestly would recommend getting this version because you can have all the other additional content within it, especially in Last Light. There's some few bonus modes you can play on it. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas. I used to play this back in the 360 era. It was definitely one of those games that I wasn't aware of getting into, because it was just like, oh look, it's Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas. I almost said Siege there. Oh my god, has it been that long? Ubisoft with their Rainbow Six series. It was pretty cool. It was pretty tactical. Honestly, don't remember a lot. I played two more than one because two was more customizable and adaptable than one with like its gameplay. Castle Crashers, this is one of the best arcade games for the 360 at the time. If you weren't playing Castle Crashers, you were missing out because oh my god, it is a load of fun. Like the art style is like already let it look cool and like noticeable. The four player co-op mode, just like battling your way to beat 'em up, but just like in medieval times. And then when you get to a princess, you like duke it out with each other to see who will like rescue her, which is pretty funny to be honest. And honestly, is a good time. Gears of War 2, again, this is one of those games that I had on my HDD hard drive before I deleted it in 2010. But I played all Gears games back then in that 360 era. Definitely one of the best sequels to Gears. It's a lot of emotion and intensity and like memorable moments. Hopefully, with the combat of Gears E Day, that will set the trend of what makes Gears Gears. Because there's rumors that there's going to be like a Gears collection of like 1, 2, and 3, but they're all like remastered or anything. Who knows? We'll have to see and wait. Super Meat Boy. This is one of those games I found on the arcade market, and I was just like, "What is this game about?" Like, I heard it's pretty hard, but I'm gonna have to try it. And boy, is it pretty hard. I didn't beat it really just to brag that I beat it. I just played it to see what it was like. And yeah, it certainly is hard, but the thing is, you have unlimited lives. You have so many tries you can take on that stage before you can like call it a quit, a day. So if you're into those 80s games, then go ahead, try it. Ark Survival Evolved. This is one of those games that my friend and a few of his friends were playing that like caught my attention. I was just like, "What is this?" I didn't really get into it. I don't have anything to say about it. I mean, it's Arc 2's coming out, I guess. And I don't know. I didn't really spend much time on him. Warframe. So before Destiny came out, we had Warframe, and Warframe was setting the boundaries of what was going to be live service games in like an open world like sort of game where you like loot and shoot and you like customize everything. People say like, oh, it's like a lot better than Destiny because of just like it's a lot better with like how it's treated, how it's accessed. I don't know how to describe Warframe other than just like the art style. It's very futuresque. It's very magical, I guess, fantasy, whatever you call it. I don't know. You have to try it out. EA Star Wars Battlefront. So I remember getting this for Christmas in 2015 because after me and my brother saw episode 7 of Star Wars. No, it wasn't episode 7, right? Yeah, it was episode 7. It was pretty cool, honestly. I give DICE the credit that they made the photogrammetry, whatever you call it, of the games more visually immersive. The thing is, however, there wasn't much content to be dealt with. This was certainly one of the games that broiled the internet because there was no campaign, there was no conquest, there was no like any of what made the original Battlefront games from Pandemic Studios what they are into the next gen, because this was a 10-year wait. Like, Star Wars Battlefront has had a rough and down series. It's had a curse luck, and it's just sad and like terrible to see how like many times they try to do Battlefront, but they can only go as far as like two games, and especially in like today's standards, like it won't be as like amazingly fun as it was in like 2004, 2005. However, I would say this game certainly was pretty fun and one of those novelty Star Wars games you had at the time, before you play anything else. Dark Souls. So after I played Dark Souls 2 on the next gen, I wanted to go back and find the first game and try my hand on it. Little did I know I wasn't getting myself into a lot of just comprehending what's going on. I do remember being frustrated at some of the bosses a lot, especially the Taurus demon and his dogs. That part alone was had me stumped, and I just got as far as see the scale list before just stopping. I mean, getting to Anor Londo and getting past those Black Knights was frustrating already enough, but I don't know. I could have beat this game. It was just like I get to experience Dark Souls. I mean, that's pretty fun. I mean, what other game is there that you get to experience and you're just like, okay, I think that's it. I mean, I get the gist. It's Dark Souls. Trove. I don't remember Trove really. It's just one of those games you happen to find. I don't have anything to say about it. The reason why Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition is on here is because I think in 2016 when I traded in my Xbox One for like a another edition, I think it was the Gears of War 4. one. The GameStop employee had to plug in my console and test it, and just but the first game they played on it was Darksiders 2 for like 5 seconds before checking to make sure it was good. Neverwinter. So getting in this game, I had no clue what the game was about. Honestly, it's D&D, but it's set in the Neverwinter campaign. So when I first played it, I got into it because of a friend, and I was just like, hey, I want to get into this game. I want to see what it was. And honestly, it's pretty fun, but I can't remember anything else from it. I don't know why Farming Simulator 15's on here. Like what? Why is Farming Simulator 15? Why is BioShock Infinite on there? I remember playing BioShock Infinite. I don't know. Operation Flashpoint, Dragon Rising. My friend and I played this game because it was tactical, and honestly, from what I can recall, it's tactical. It's a milsim like Arma. Honestly, I can't tell you much about it. Here we go now. Let's get into Destiny. Oh boy, I've been playing Destiny since day one. I remember excited for it in September 9th, 2014. Got it, played it, spent a lot of hours in this game. It was honestly just a life changing game, besides Halo and all that. I mean, it was pretty cool to see what Bungie was doing at that time before, being brought with controversies and Activision's shenanigans. I honestly think Destiny was just one of those life changing experience games, both social and mentally, because right now I rather play Destiny than Destiny 2. I honestly think Destiny's better than 2 in a lot of the areas. The story, even though it can be a little vague and unfinished, it was at least better than what's going on with the lore. The gameplay was phenomenal. Like, the introduction of getting to play as a Titan, Warlock, and Hunter was just like innovating enough, and it was just it had a bit of an identity crisis trying to figure out what was going. Like, was it a looter shooter? Was it like an open world looter shooter? Like, how do you classify Destiny in the same field as Borderlands? Because they both involve looting and shooting, but does Destiny mean a social hub because it has like a tower that you can visit and like talk to people and turn. Is it like an MMORPG? Who knows, honestly. I honestly had a lot of fun with this game. I played it on and off from like 2014 until Destiny 2's release. Just one of those games you had to be there and just witness all the things. Call of Duty Black Ops from my 2010 era before I deleted everything. Honestly, this game was pretty stoked as a kid. I was like 9 or 10 or 11 when this game came out and just loving it. Honestly, a good quality game, to be honest. There isn't more for me to say. Gigantic closed beta. I honestly don't know what this is about. I'm not sure why it's on there. Medal of Honor Airborne. I think this was one of those Xbox Live for Gold when that was still a thing. You'd be able to play a free game and you'd be like, hey, this game's pretty cool. I don't know. I had trouble with the controllers. I didn't really seem to invest into it. So, Halo 3 ODST Campaign Edition, again, that was from before I wiped everything on my hard drive. Honestly, a lot of fun. I remember my brother waking me up at midnight just to see him play it when he got it from GameStop. It was pretty stellar. It's pretty memorable. Honestly, think there should be another game like this in the Halo franchise. Minecraft Xbox One Edition. So as well as waiting for Minecraft on the 360 back in the day, it was pretty cool to see Minecraft on the next gen, and just be able to get to visualize and experience that. I mean, it had like the tutorial mode, if anybody remembers that, with like the floating Minecraft sign, and like behind it was like another portal. Just a lot of good memories from it. My friend and I used to play this a lot. It was a grand time. Call of Duty World War II. Um, I got this for Christmas. I mean, it's Call of Duty. What'd you expect? It's just pretty weird, you know. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. So I got both Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 in late 2018. I played both of them. You know, the first one was like actually one of the first games I had with my Xbox 360 when I got in 2006. I absolutely love it. I didn't get to play the second one because I didn't know there was a second one until now when I bought it. And to say I mean, it's just the Civil War comic book adaptation, just handled differently. You can play as the villains too, I guess. It's pretty cool. I don't know. It's a pretty weird game. Battlefield Hardline. I mean, I don't remember too much from this, other than it was just like another cheap $60 ripoff from EA just to play like another Battlefield. I honestly think this game is pretty good. I think compared to the other Battlefield games, like the gameplay was more smooth and fun. The fact that you can like grab ammo off of somebody who's playing a support, that's pretty cool. The whole cops and robbers grind, it was just pretty cool. State of Decay 2 Juggernaut Edition. I played this as for like a few minutes because I was curious to what State of Decay 2 was. It was just a zombie survival game. Didn't get into it. I know a lot of people love State of Decay. Uh, it doesn't fit with me well enough because it's just one of those like realistic, tough games you had to invest hours into. Payday 2 Crime Wave Edition. I played it for like about 5 minutes because a friend of mine was like, "Hey, if you love memes, you'll love this game." And boy, do they have the memes in there. Dark Souls 3. Honestly, when I played first Dark Souls 3, it was just one of those games alongside 2 and 1 that was just like, "Oh man, this is amazing." You know, it's Dark Souls. Like, there's no other game out there that's as compelling and engaging as it is. I do remember one time in late 2016, I broke my copy of Dark Souls 3's disc because I lost like 1 million souls after the Ancient Wyvern battle. If as far as late into that game, good times. Roblox, I only played it because a group of buddies and I were like, "Hey, let's play Roblox," you know, just silly shenanigans. No Man's Sky, I think I played this on Game Pass. I think I played on Game Pass when it was a new subscription thing, so I wanted to try it out, and it's pretty boring. Right now, it's pretty stellar, but honestly, I have no reason to come back to it, to be honest. I mean, I don't know why. Like, usually games that I play for like 5 minutes and it just doesn't like vibe with me or fit within my expectations, like, they just tend to be stuck on the shelf or forever like played with no time at all, you know. It's I don't know, it's just pretty weird to me. Dead Space 3, play this around 2 years after I got a new account after the whole debacle, and it's pretty fun co-op game with my friend. Honestly, don't remember a lot of much about it except for the ending and the gameplay co-op mechanics between you and your partner. It is what it is. It's Dead Space 3. Like, come on, like, are we gonna be real here and say that it's the worst of the games because it was more monetized and not scary enough, you know? Fallout Shelter. Around the time when Fallout 4 was announced, you can play Fallout Shelter on both your console and your mobile. It's a pretty much one of those like gotcha life sim games that you just had to like play daily to keep it in check. I don't think I stuck around much more than say like 2 days worth of gameplay, and I was just like, yeah, I'm done. Call of Duty World of War. Again, I played this back in the day when it released. It was just one of those like surrealist Call of Duty games take that took a lot of risks of being greedy and being greedy and stellar, like with its memorable campaign, the multiplayer, and then the introduction of zombies, which is pretty impactful because zombies is just one of those game modes that you bought a Call of Duty game for, but really at the same time you were kind of curious to what the next rendition was. I mean, it was a lot of fun, and I got it like on physical copy in December of 2018 because I wanted to go back and play it. So yeah, it's a pretty fun game. Brawlhalla, I only played it for like 5 minutes. It's a beat 'em up game. Did it with a group of friends. I mean, I don't know. Again, with both Metro games, sadly, I'm not sure what happened with Last Light's progress because I remember playing it. No, that was part of the Redux collection. Yeah, because these two are separate. These are like as if you bought the game separately, but when I have physical copy of Metro Redux Edition, it came with both games, and all those achievements and progress actually tracked only to that specific edition, if that makes any sense. So when Metro Exodus came out in 2019, it came with a free digital copy of Metro 2033, which I just went back and did all over again. Metro Redux or Metro Exodus, by the way, is really good. I love the ambitions that they were shaping it to be and how like more outgoing it was, because honestly, like not having to deal with radiation anymore, see like the gloom deprived ruins of Moscow was something new. Like be able to go just beyond the Caspian border and like see what life is out there somewhere. Honestly, a good time. Story's really good. Gameplay is pretty changing and it's really fun. Pretty hard at the same time. Gears of War 3, again, play this when it came out. 2011 era. It's pretty good. Gears of War 4, honestly, when I first played this game, I didn't know there was a Gears of War 4, to be honest, because when I got my Gears of War 4 edition of an Xbox One in Christmas of 2016, I was just like, no way, like, what is this about? And safe to say, I mean, it's Gears of War 4. Like, whether you love it or hate it, I don't have any gripes or I don't have any gripes or like resentments against it. It's trying to do its own thing. How do you continue the legacy of the games like 30 years later in that setting? Monopoly Plus, I played it because a bunch of friends I used to hang out a lot with on Xbox Live got it. Same thing with Mariners. I can't remember what happened anymore. Earth Defense Force, really weird game. Really, really weird game. Honestly, I think my brain cells died because it was just like what's going on? It's like you're playing as soldiers and you're fighting against unearthly like alien insects from outer space and they're like the size of a skyscraper and you're like shooting them. It's pretty weird. Crazy Taxi. I think I played this when it was free on the arcade market and I was like, it's Crazy Taxi. I've heard about this franchise from YouTube and be able to play it. I mean, it's pretty fun. I didn't invest a lot of time into it, but it was pretty cool to experience that game from Sega. Another weird game here. I got Mountain Blade Warband. Another like experimental game I played. See what it was like. I don't know how to describe it. It's very weird. It's very hard. It's very confusing. You have to like train yourself or mount up armies and have them fight against each other. I don't know. That's as best as I can describe it. Borderlands 2, again, first century game in the series. I played, I had a lot of fun. It was pretty novelty at the time. Halo Reach, I played this back when it released in 2010, did everything, all that. I mean, self-explanatory. I think this is the first game that really divided the community until today, and just like the whole Bungie fanboys versus Halo Studios 343 audience. It'll never end because people will never learn how to have an open mindset to video games of evolving franchises. Middle Earth Shadow Mordor Game of the Year edition. Again, this was on Game Pass. I played it. I pretty much like it. It's pretty cool, honestly. I like the dark, mature world of Lord of the Rings and how like it doesn't hold back, but also at the same time, it was just one of those games that was pretty fun to play. Rest in peace, Monolith Game Studios. I mean, I just heard what happened to them like last month or so. It was pretty unfortunate that they shut down because of Warner Bros. I tried playing Monster Hunter World from Game Pass because I was like, okay, I've heard about this game. I want to see what it was getting to. It didn't quite fit into my taste, because like honestly, like I think the weapons selection, like why do we have very big weapons to fight against monsters? Like this doesn't seem realistic at all. But honestly, I should have just expected that it's a Capcom game. That's just how they all work. I'm not a big Monster Hunter fan, really, to be honest. But I don't let my judgment impact or bar people's enjoyment of the game. Super hot. I remember how pretty cool this was at the time. I played it for a few minutes. I mean, it's super hot. Rage. I played this on Game Pass as well. I think pretty much any game you'll see past like 2014 or 2017 is when they implemented Game Pass, and this was just me trying games out, and see how they were. Rage, I like the setting. I like the Mad Max, uh, the Mad Max inspiration for it. I played it for a couple of hours. I think what really stumped me was the circus arena, whatever you call it, that you get into, and I was just like, okay, I don't know what's going on, to be honest. It's pretty weird. Crackdown, I remember playing Crackdown 1 and 2 back in the day. These games were pretty noticeable for their art style and sandbox gameplays, just being able to run around, blow stuff up, take down people. Like honestly, it was just one of those like games you had to be there and you had to like see like what made the franchise what like it is as a Xbox original IP. I haven't played 3 and everything, but it just it's Crackdown. Like by the way, this game is the gateway to the Halo 3 beta when that came out, but I wasn't aware of that time because we didn't have an Xbox Live back then. Wolfenstein: The New Order. I played this. It's pretty good. I like Wolfenstein: The New Order. I think it honestly is just one of those games that for a reboot, it's pretty good. Like it didn't have any issues or anything. I didn't have any gripes with it. It was just pretty cool to like experience it. And the fact that you can play like a virtual arcade cabinet in the game to play the original Wolfenstein, and I thought that was pretty cool. Kingdom Come Deliverance. Oh, I was sleeping on a hitter right here. I played it for like 5 minutes and I couldn't figure out the control wise, whatever. I just put it down. That was the biggest mistake of my entire life because now that I watched like my friends stream Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 after the first one, I really want to go back and play this game. Yakuza Zero, it was just one of those games you just play for the memes, at that time in 2020 with the whole like Damadane or whatever it's called, that song. I'm not sure how to describe it. I can't get into Yakuza honestly. I couldn't tell you anybody. I'm more of a Shenmue person because after I learned what Shenmue was, I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely my game. Wasteland Remastered, I played this for like 5 minutes. It's one of those 90s textile based adventure games that you just played, and it's Wasteland. Like, you just had to look it up. Doom Eternal, I absolutely loved Doom Eternal on Game Pass in late 2020, I think. Excuse me. Um, a good Doom game, good boss fights. It was a whole lot of fun. Honestly, that's what I can tell you about it. Lego Star Wars 2, I used to play this back in the day as well. It was really addicting. Very addicting Lego game along with Lego Indiana Jones. In fact, my parents had to put me aside and tell me about the repercussions of playing a game too long, which because they heard like a South Korean gamer died in a gaming cafe like a long time ago after that. Apex Legends, I tried to get into it. It isn't my battle royale game. Honestly, I can tell you that. I've played Blackout before. I honestly prefer Blackout. Katana Zero, I can't remember what this game is about, but if anyone can tell me, well, yeah. Dead Cells, I can't remember what that was about either. Moving Out, we played it for like 5 minutes as a family. Not sure why there's an EA Sports game on here. I think somebody had my account when I was switching consoles from Xbox One X to Series S. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, again, like I think Rainbow Six Vegas 2 is better than the first one. Zombie Army 4 Dead War from Game Pass. I didn't know there was a Zombie Army game for Sniper Elite because honestly, it's zombies. I mean, you're just shooting undead. I mean, what else is there to say? Sniper Elite 4. I played it. It was alright. That's all I can say. Dante's Inferno, played it from Game Pass. Really fun game. I like the setting, the like Greco-Roman themes within it, the biblical allegories. Anyway, it's pretty cool. The Evil Within, I really want to love this game. I really want to love The Evil Within, but my only issue was that it was running at 30 FPS. It had like that film grain to it. It had like the black bars top below, and it was just like I don't know. Like I like the appeal. I like the horror aspect that Shinji Mikami was going at the time, and just it was pretty cool. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, absolutely love this game. One of the best Resident Evil games, but on the other hand, it's also one of the worst because of how like cinema is. Like there's like always a cutscene every 5 minutes or so. You may as well be watching a movie then. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, I didn't like it. Command and Conquer 3, Tiberian Wars. I used to play this back in the 360 era. One of the like most fun RTS games on the console that I played as a kid. And now I'm thinking, like looking back, it really is so cool. Like what makes Command and Conquer just so like an RTS game was just the memorable factions, with GDI, Nod, and the Scrim edition, and just like I don't know, like StarCraft and Age of Empires 4. I think Command and Conquer certainly was one of those games you had to try out while it was like in its prime or in its life cycle. Resident Evil remake. Play this. I played this in 2015, I think. Honestly, pretty good remake. Pretty scary as well. I can't beat it to this day because I'll probably get lost in the mansion. I mean, it is what it is. Warface Clutch. I don't remember what Warface is. It was some squad based video game. World War Z, I tried to get into it, like thinking it was gonna be Left 4 Dead, but I don't know, just didn't work with me. Battlefield 3 again, I got it like in early 2012, and it was just one of those memorable games of the franchise that people fondly loved. Ghost Recon Wildlands Standard Edition. I got this during the Snow Mageddon of 2021. Had a blast, just like spending weeks and weeks just playing it. It was pretty good. Vigor, I wanted to see what this game was about. It's kind of like Daisy, kind of, I don't know, Dark Alliance. It's a pretty bad game. I wouldn't recommend it. Battlefield Bad Company 2, Bad Company 1 and 2. I played on Game Pass, EA Pass, whatever it's called. Honestly, a really fun campaign and gameplay. Like, I know I'm late to the party, but I remember my friend playing Bad Company on his PlayStation 3 when we first met in middle school, and it was just like, it's just one of those games that a lot of people really love, and they wish there was a third sequel to it. Mirror's Edge, I tried to get into it. I mean, I was aware of it like in the late 2000s era because of the parkour and everything, and just like how pretty cool it was that you can like jump from rooftop to rooftop doing like all these tricks and spins. Watch Dogs, I absolutely love Watch Dogs. I think Watch Dogs is a better GTA than GTA 5 was, as my friend puts it. I agree with him in some levels. I think the reason why I just like Watch Dogs was as like controversial and like rough it was at launch, and like how Ubisoft was pretty deceptive. I think the general gist and the atmosphere for the game was like enough for me to say, okay, this is pretty fun. I like it. Splinter Cell Convention, I played it because of a friend of mine. Got into the Splinter Cell games along with Chaos Theory. Pretty good games, pretty good stealth games. They're really fun, especially Convention of how you can like interrogate people, which is awesome. Resident Evil Village, I was really anticipating this game when it came out, and I honestly think I had a blast time playing it. It honestly is just one of those best games of 2021 that I have fun with. I don't think there's another Resident Evil game out there that we have to wait for like another 4 or 5 years until it comes out and people are like, oh my god, is this gonna suck or is this gonna be good? Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, the definitive edition, they put this on Game Pass. I played it for like 5 minutes. I mean, as controversial and rough the definitive edition was, I mean, I didn't play much of San Andreas. I was more of a Vice City person because I like the 80s aesthetics and the music and all that. Here's another big games that I unfortunately own is Homefront: The Revolution. I honestly think that this game is just like terrible in every aspect. Like the setting is pretty cool. Like in Silicon Valley, it was North Korea instead of California, and then they hold like all the technology and just cause like a world span like invasion. I don't know. Portal still alive. I think I remember playing this on the Orange Box as well as like a demo of it in the 360 era. It's a pretty fun game. If you like puzzles and you like Valve games, then this will definitely be for you. The Forgotten City. Now, I think I didn't know what I was getting into when I played this game because I was like, oh yeah, this game looks pretty cool. I mean, it looks like it's in Roman times. What I didn't know was this was a whole standalone game based on a Skyrim mod that somebody made back in the day where you go back in time, you make impactful decisions, and if you ever like kill somebody or make a mistake, then that timeline in itself will crumble. Like everybody will turn to gold or whatever. So you have to like restart and then think methodically like how are you gonna like rewrite history in a sense, if that makes any sense. It's pretty good. Gears of War Ultimate Edition. I played this when they first came out in 2015. Honestly, like really cool. We finally got a Gears remake of the first one. It was really stellar, like both graphics and gameplay wise. It's pretty cool. I honestly think it's a novelty to the Outer Worlds. I didn't know much about this game. I just played it and I honestly had a lot of fun of it with it for an Obsidian title. As much as people don't like it with Obsidian today, I honestly think that the sequel will probably be pretty good. Aliens Fireteam Elite. I think this was one of those games I saw in Game Pass, and I was just like, what is this? And I played it, and it was like a third person Left 4 Dead kind of style arcade shooter. It's aliens. I don't know how to describe it more. Marvel Ultimate Alliance used to play this back in the day when I first got my 360, and yeah, it's really good Marvel game. I'd say like one of the best in the series, like for games with anything with Marvel in it. It's pretty appealing to the fans and the comic nerds. It's just really cool. Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I'm not sure what I was playing it for. I think it was just for a Game Pass quest or something like that. Tom Clancy's The Division. Finally got around to playing this. Uh, I mean, I played this in 2018 before I went off to college or went off to travel in Europe. I mean, it's The Division. It was pretty controversial at launch. It was pretty notorious again with like Ubisoft's deceiving marketing, but I don't think it's as bad as say like other Tom Clancy games or Ubisoft. I played The Division 2 more than this one. Crossfire X, ugh, absolutely bad game. I didn't like it. Rainbow Six Extraction, didn't like it. Like like the setting was pretty cool, I guess. It's like infection and all, but how are you gonna do zombies in a Rainbow Six game? I don't know. Counter Strike Global Offensive. I got this at launch in 2012. I was pretty hyped for it because I wanted to play Counter Strike. I wanted to get into it. I mean, I'm pretty bad at these games, but they're pretty fun. They're pretty nonchalant games you play with your friends, and they're pretty cool. It's a great time. Far Cry 3 Classic Edition. I got it because I thought it was a remaster of Far Cry 3. It is. Criticisms go, there's no 60 FPS, there's no performance mode because I'm playing on my Series S and X. Like, how am I gonna play this game if it's not like adjusted for next gen? Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain, I played it with Games for Gold. I mean, probably like my first Metal Gear game to be honest, which is pretty weird because I've never played a Metal Gear game before than this. So when I played it, I'm usually a perfectionist with stealth games. I mean, as far as to like getting past the first two levels and then stopping right there. Marvel's Avengers. Oh god. This game was alright, I guess. It's not the best, and it's not certainly the worst, but it could have been better. Rage 2. Ugh. I tried getting to Rage 2, fought like a mini boss, died on it, uninstalled, and just never played it again. Battletoads, again, I did it for the Xbox Game Pass Quest. It's pretty fun. I mean, Battletoads is there. It's a rare game. Wolfenstein: The Old Blood. It's pretty fun. Has a cool test. I'm not sure why people don't like this game as much as uh, New Colossus or Youngblood. I think Old Blood was pretty cool as like a spin-off expansion, whatever. I pretty enjoyed it. Far Cry 2, I tried to get in this game, just doesn't work with me. 7 Days to Die, I didn't get into it because it was too confusing and too hard for me. Battlefield 5, I got it on November of 2018 along with my friends. As controversial as it is, I think this is one of the most polarizing Battlefield games after Battlefield 1 because, I mean, If you already know your knowledge and lore with it, then it should explain by itself. Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, I played it. It was alright. Pretty struggling here and there. Filled with, I guess, like political agenda. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. I played this in college. Everybody was loving it. I played it. I certainly like it. I mean, let me look. I got like all achievements for it, but I honestly wish that the franchise would go back to these levels of like tactical Modern Warfare instead of trying to be like Fortnite, on its own. Forza Horizon 5, I played it for a quest. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, good game, I heard, but I'm not sure why I didn't get into it. I mean, it's a really respectable indie title, but I don't know, I just couldn't get into it. I remember hearing about this in 2014. Mighty Goose, pretty fun game. For Honor, I mean, it's For Honor. I mean, let's be real. Nobody plays For Honor for the story or anything. They just play it for the multiplayer. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, one of the best modern Star Wars games out there. I really love this game. I think Respawn Entertainment did a phenomenal job with the story and like the characters and the Star Wars setting. Does its own thing. Doesn't have to rely on established characters. Human Fall Flat. I like this game. It's pretty funny. It's pretty humorous. It's pretty cartoony. I recommend it. Pac-Man Museum. I mean, I played it for a quest. I mean, it's Pac-Man. Like, it has all the Pac-Man games and titles on there. If you like Pac-Man, you like Pac-Man. I'm not a good Pac-Man person. Sniper Ghost Warrior 3. I honestly wanted to get into this franchise because I've heard of Sniper Ghost Warrior 2, but then this was available only on the new series X and S or whatever, or the next gen, and I was like, what is this game? One thing I like to note is the voice acting is really terrible. The voice acting, the story is pretty goofy. It's really bad, but the sniper gameplay is like absolutely phenomenal. It's really, I want to say it's like on par with Sniper Elite, Sniper Elite's gameplay and mechanics. Assassin's Creed Origins, try to get into it. Only thing that bugs me off is the whole gear, the RPG gear level set. I'm not sure why they did it, but compared to like Odyssey, though, Odyssey I really loved Odyssey because of its Greek setting, and it was fairly tolerable for me in the new Assassin's Creed era with when they were trying to do like open world, non-linear sort of gameplay. Metal Hellsinger, really good rhythm shooting game. If you love metal, you'll love metal. You'll love this game. Far Cry 5, I tried to get into it. It just didn't resonate with me. Dead Space, I remember playing it at lunch, or renting it actually, and it was pretty scary to be honest. The only issue or gripes I had with was just finding the regenerator, and I wasn't able to get past it as like get past the generator as a kid. But I actually finished this like later on, many years later, and it's pretty good today. Mortal Shell Enhanced Edition. I think this was trying to be Dark Souls, but hey, can I copy your homework? Yeah, try not to make it obvious. Bomber Crew, got it because of a friend. Um, I don't know, it's pretty weird. You have to coordinate your playing crew, and it's pretty funny. We always meme about this a lot as an inside joke. Tunic, I played it for a few minutes. It's really good. It's really fun. Zelda inspired. Pretty cute. Would recommend it. Prey, I try to get into Prey. I don't know. As immersive sims come and go, I think Prey is just one of those games that you either love it or you hate it. Multiverses, I tried playing it for a quest. Downloading took forever. Logging in's a pain. It's a shame that it got shut down. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. If you love Lego Star Wars games, then this is definitely for you. Honestly, I think it's pretty cool that you have like all the games together and they have like voice acting and they have like still they have the wit and the charm into it. Pretty good. Rocket League, I tried getting into it. It's a pretty fun game. I wouldn't say I'm a fan though, but it's Rocket League if it's there. Ion Life, made by the creator of Rick and Morty, pretty weird, pretty internet-ish. Um, I wouldn't say I would play it now because of what happened with the PR allegations and all, but it's just a really weird game. Dragon Age Origins. This is one of the first times I got into the Dragon Age series because I was pretty interested as a child. I was looking at the box card. I was looking at the cover and art and it's like, wow, this game looks pretty cool. I mean, it's got a dragon, it's medieval, it's Dragon Age. Is it like Skyrim? Psh, no, it's not like Skyrim. It's BioWare. You gotta make your decisions worthy. Bugsnags, pretty weird game, pretty cute as well. Fall Guys, I mean, it's Fall Guys. Dragon Age 2, I played it for a good while in 2022. I honestly think I would rather play this than Skyrim in over any other day. Like, sure, it may have its faults, but honestly, I like Dragon Age 2 because it was just trying to do its own thing, you know? Enlisted, just one of those World War II games that I play because, it's World War II. Same with Battlefield 1943. I used to play this game a lot on my 360 and even got all the achievements. It's pretty fun. Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen. I tried to get into Dragon's Dogma because I heard about it and it was just like Dark Souls mixed Berserk themes, It's pretty good. Second one was a little bit better. I had a fun time with that. GoldenEye 007 or GoldenEye 64 as it used to be called. Really novelty game, one of the greatest FPSs of all time. Really innovated in how everything should be. Grim Fandango Remastered. I love this game. It's really fun. It's really creative. It's really entertaining. It's one of the best Lucas Arts Double Fine Productions games I've ever played. I absolutely love it. Dragon Age Inquisition. At the same time getting into Dragon Age, I got into this. I actually managed to beat it after a while. It was alright. I'd say it's definitely better than Dragon Age 2 and 1. No, not better than Dragon Age Origins, but better than 2. Dead Space Ignition. Oh boy, I didn't like this game because of the puzzles. The puzzles were really confusing. They were hard. They were tedious. They were really unnecessarily. I mean, the only reason why I got back into it is because of Dead Space 2. I just wanted to revisit this game. I also played this game at launch in 2011. Pretty good game. Rare Replay. I decided I want to see what all the games were made. I mean, if you've grown up in the 90s and 2000s, then you know what games Rare has made. They even went as far, I think they went as far as back as like the 1980s. I think that's how old Rare is, and it's pretty interesting to see like their most obscure arcade titles made onto here. Resident Evil 5 used to play this back in the 360, as I said. Being able to play on next gen is really amazing because now I get to be able to like play the game and revisit like my memories and get everything back. And it comes with like I guess like all the DLCs and everything. Resident Evil 2, I got it. Resident Evil 2 remake, I got it around the same time before Village came out. I absolutely love it. I love the gameplay, the presentation, how noob friendly it is, and how like challenging it can be. Recore, I played Recore because it was just one of those Game Pass quests I had to play, and honestly, it's really fun. I think it's made by some of the people who used to work at Retro Studios, the Metroid Prime developers and all that. It's pretty cool. Rise Summer Rome. I mean, this game was one of the first to come on the Xbox One. I played it for like a little bit. I mean, it is. It's all right, I guess. Okay. Next game on here is Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I think I played this after Wildlands, and I no, I think it was before, and I was like pretty mixed on it, and like with the updates and how like whack the atmosphere was. But after they added in AI teammates and they actually redone the game, it's actually a lot more enjoyable now than it was at launch, and it's really good. Like even though it was kind of controversial for the series make or break, it is what it is. Star Wars Squadrons, I played this for about 5 minutes for a quest to do. It's just one of those games. If you like, I think it was Squadron Fighters or something like that on the GameCube. But if you love those type of Star Wars games where you're like flying and shooting, you'll definitely like this game. Gang Beasts. I forgot what this game was all about. House Flipper. I tried it. I'm not sure how to describe it really. It's just weird. Tom Clancy's The Division 2. I played this launch in 2019, but playing it for like about on and off for 2 to 3 years. Honestly, it's pretty time investing, kind of like Destiny, and just how Ubisoft it was, and because my friends were playing it, so I wanted to play with them. We had a grand old time. I mean, that's probably the reason why I got it. Black Ops 3, I got this game in summer of 2016. I bought it with my hard-earned cash and all the season passes. Really good multiplayer, really good zombies. Campaign, I can't say much because it doesn't even relate to the other Black Ops games. My friend got me the game on Steam last September, I think. And since then, I've been just playing modded zombies on my Steam account, and it's been really fun. Like, it's really cool that you can now play modded zombies, and this in the game's like greatest era of zombies. Star Wars Battlefront 2, EA. It's pretty fun. Play this at launch around 2017. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be better than Battlefront 2015, but the story could have been a lot better. The multiplayer definitely, oh my god, this game was really controversial because of the loot crates and all that, and just like it really changed the gaming industry forever because you know how big EA is and Star Wars in the title is just it's just like I don't know, like there's another game that really shaped the way how the video game industry has changed other than Battlefront 2. But now that it has been like fully been abandoned in favor of 2042, I honestly think that they should have kept focusing on the game and adding more stuff to it, which is a damn shame. Resident Evil Reverse. I tried to get into this game, but you had to have a Capcom account, and I couldn't, so I really had no time invested to it. Unfortunately, it shut it down like a few years ago, so it's practically worthless. Proteus, it's one of those boomer shooter games, I guess, if you can call it, and the likes of Doom and Quake that are really hyper intense focus first person shooters. I mean, I'm not like I saw it because somebody had it like as background footage while they were talking about like some gaming news or drama. I tried to play it, just couldn't get into it. Mortal Kombat 11, play this on Game Pass when it was available. Honestly, I haven't played Mortal Kombat X. I played Mortal Kombat 2009 before, as I said at the start of the video. 11, I thought it was okay. I like the whole time warping scenario of breaking past characters into their future selves and seeing like this whole dilemma of like, hey, if you're here, then I'm here, but if you're here, then I shouldn't. If I'm here, then I shouldn't be here. It's honestly weird. Dead by Daylight, I tried to get into it. It's just one of those games you just have to spend a lot of time into. Psychonauts 2, Double Fine Productions. This is Tim Schafer's most like enjoyable series I've ever gotten into because I played Psychonauts 1, which got me into Psychonauts 2, and I absolutely love the game. I love this as a platformer, as a storytelling, family friendly game. It's full of wit, charm, and humor. I love Richard Stephen Horvitz's acting and like along with other people. It's a grand old time. This is like one of the funniest games I had to 100% 100% completion on. Destiny 2. Oh, I could say a lot about this game since launch in 2017. You know, the usual on and off for the past like 5 or so years. And my conclusion, I dropped it. I absolutely just couldn't take it anymore. I mean, I'm not sure what happened, if it was Bungie's fault or Activision's fault or Sony's fault. I mean, whoever it is to blame, it's already been long gone. My boat has already set sailed. I met a lot of people on this game. I befriended a lot of people. I made a lot of impactful memories as best as I could, even during pandemic and just stuff. I mean, I don't know. If I kind of wish that for Destiny 2 wise, it could have just we could have had a Destiny 1 still, instead of just Destiny 2, because what's really 2 about it in the sequel that changed a lot from the first game? I mean, ask yourself that question. Grand Theft Auto Online, I've been on and off with this game since 2015 when I got on Xbox One. Honestly, at this point with Rockstar, my relationship to this game and GTA has just been like in like slopes because I feel like you need to grind on this game every day to get the best of the best, whether it's vehicles, weapons, clothes, whatever. And the whole like Rockstar's treatment of their audience and fan base is just pretty petty. Like I don't know, like I feel like Take Two is just pulling the strings on Rockstar because Rockstar has never been this deliberatively polarizing before, but then the games like they weren't like that when GTA 4 was a thing, It was only after GTA 5 that the whole internet was like memeing, was like, "Oh, we're gonna get GTA 6 by the time like I turn 90 years old." I stopped playing this game after like a few years. It's just wow. Quake, I tried to get into it. I mean, just a novelty game. You just play Quake for the experience. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order. I absolutely love it. I think it's a really huge improvement from the first game. I love where the plot was going, the character their development, and just like the continuation within the Star Wars universe. Absolutely think it should be worthy of being in your collection. Coffee Talk, amazing indie game, very chill, very nonchalant, not that serious, even though it has some social and political commentaries in it, but it doesn't really deter from the experience. So if you have a guide on you, then yeah, I recommend it. Halo Wars 2, I played it around 2020, I think. One of the best modern RTS games out there besides Halo Wars. Really fun, really innovative, really immersive, really brought the franchise to a whole new direction. Overwatch 2. So my history with Overwatch went back in 2016 in December. I played it on and off. It's an alright game. It's pretty fun. It was pretty good like in those early years, but Blizzard's actions and decisions have really plummeted the series into like what the internet likes to call like a hate game because no longer was that soul or passion there. It was just rather all monetization and just like all this social culture wars, clashing with one another, which kind of ruins the vibes of the game. Halo 5 Guardians, I played this at launch on and off throughout the years. Honestly, I wish I could go back and finish getting myself to max rank, Spartan 1 rank 152, but At this rate, with the population very low right now, I don't see that happening. Who knows? Maybe in the future they'll revitalize it with bringing the PC or anything. Payday 3, I tried playing it was weird, wasn't as fun. Resident Evil 4 Remake, this was one of the most anticipated games I had in mind in 2023. I saved up all my money, got it, spent the entire month just 100%ing it. And then months later, Separate Ways comes out as expansion, and I also really loved enjoying that as well. Dishonored Definitive Edition. I played Dishonored ago, as I said earlier this video, but playing the definitive edition now, I think getting back into it, I managed to actually complete the story, and try to challenge myself into how much of a immersive sim person I am. Really fun. Oblivion. This game and Skyrim both go hand to hand, just bringing good memories, good RPG memories of just like getting introduced into it in like 2012 and just getting lost in those worlds and just the immersion and the gameplay and everything was just like the charm, especially Oblivion. I think Oblivion is just one of those games that I can't get out of my mind, or I'll come back like every like 6 months to replay it again and just like get lost in and more hours put into it. Now that I have it on Steam, and I put out those videos back in January of like recording like Mass Chaos and all that. Thief, Thief was alright. I only got it because I just saw the box art and I was just like, oh, you're playing as like some kind of Robin Hood figure, right? And no, that's not really it. I think Thief was just one of those games lost in time that we'll never see again because the immersive sim genre has just completely died out. Back for Blood, I tried getting into this game at launch. It's all right, but I wouldn't say it's better than Left 4 Dead or anything. I think Turtle Rock Studios could have done it better and just focus on the gameplay and not aesthetics wise, like the internet was bullying them into. Costume Quest 2, really fun turn-based game if you like it. Minecraft now. Minecraft is a modern game, really chill, very memorable to get into. Dishonored 2, I tried to get into it. I've put around like a few hours, but I couldn't continue because I was just like, I'm not sure what's about it. Like maybe it's like the pacing of the game or the frame rates just not being at 60 that kind of turns me off away from it. Brutal Legend, I played this for a few minutes. I remember seeing this game back in the day, and it was just like extreme brutalness that kids aren't allowed to see, but it's pretty funny and chicken humor. If you love metal, just like with Hellsinger, if you love metal, you'll love this game. Injustice 2, I only played it for like 5 minutes. Really good fighting game, along with Injustice. Limbo, again, one of those games, indie games that you had to experience what it was like. Along with Inside, those games have some sort of like deep philosophical meaning and all that. Starfield, played on lunch, got bored of the main story, played the side quests, completed those, stopped playing. Yeah, only until like if they added mod support for the game, which I don't know if I should ever come back to it for mod support or anything, because it's a modern Bethesda title. GTA 5, I don't play the story really. I just only play like the online capabilities of it. I mean, now with like the GTA 6 hype, I feel like both 5 and 6 already are, let alone the most overrated games in the franchise. Because I feel like too many people just, I don't know, there's just something about that fan base that just speaks out like insanity to me. Party Animals, try to get into it. It's pretty fun, I guess. Zoo Tycoon. I remember when this came out, my brother was really confused on what Zoo Tycoon was. I mean, I played it for a few, like, I didn't play this until a few years ago in 2023, and I absolutely was kind of addicted to it, but then I put it down because I was just like, wait, stop. Hi-Fi Rush, one of the best action rhythm mini games like ever made by Tango Gameworks. I mean, this game was pretty good and successful on launch. Unfortunately, Microsoft doesn't see it that way. They shut down the studios. However, that studio and their IPs got retained by another company, so hopefully the publisher underneath that will do better well, and I wish those guys best of luck. Really good rhythm game, to be honest. I love the art style and everything. Liza P. Try to get into this, but then I realized my Elden Ring burnout was just like I think I'm done with From Software games until now, until like something new comes up. Torment Tides of Numenera, very weird game. Couldn't get into it. Gotham Knights. I'm not sure why I have this on here. Gold Simulator 3. It's Gold Simulator 3. Wild the Iron's Hot. Pretty interesting in the game. I mean, I just let alone like the whole blacksmithing incorporated into it. It's pretty fun. Elder Scrolls Online, Tamriel Unlimited. I try to get into Elder Scrolls Online, but honestly, I don't think it's possible unless you have like a dedicated group of people to play with. Because it's just one of those MMORPGs that you have to spend like 10 years getting into, you know? Same thing with Sea of Thieves, to be honest. I think you need friends to be able to enjoy this game. It's not one of those games where you can play by yourself and have a grand old time. It requires a lot of thoughtful working. Forza Motorsport, I'm not sure why this is on here. I don't play racing games often, but it's pretty realistic, I guess. Watch Dogs 2, I try to get into it. I don't think I like it as much as Watch Dogs 1. I think 1 is better than 2, to be honest. Far Cry 6, this is where my Far Cry burnout really comes in because I played a few minutes into it and I was just like, yeah, I think I'm done with Far Cry, in the future, so I'm just done with the series. Sea of Stars. I don't even remember starting this game. Broken Age, another Double Fine Productions, really good, really funny. I recommend playing it. I have only played it 5 minutes into it, but if I'm sure if I play it again, I'll enjoy it a lot more. RoboQuest, really good indie roguelike shooter. Basically, you're playing as a robot, you're going through stages, you're trying to get to the highest level, fight bosses as well. Pretty fun. You can play with a friend. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I tried to get into this, and this is where my burnout for another Ubisoft game comes in because I played the prologue and then I got into the game and I was just like, you know what? I think I'm done with Assassin's Creed. Like, it just isn't that exciting for me anymore. Remnant from the Ashes, really fun game. I actually like the gameplay style of it. It's not too shabby. It's not too hard. It's just pretty good. Dead Space remake, one of my anticipated games of 2023. Absolutely love it. I wish EA would not be so much of a party pooper when they have to like drop the sequel remake because this one didn't earn enough much. Well, I was like, well, I guess that's too bad. Well, I guess I should have bought like 40,000 copies of it just to save it or something like that. I don't know. Chivalry 2, good multiplayer action game, terrible devs. I heard what happened with that one YouTuber like a few years ago, and it was just a shame. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. Played it for like 5 minutes. Definitely just one of those 90s games that I bet a lot of people have a good time playing it, honestly. Resident Evil 3 Remake. I have to give it a hot take. I really don't like this remake at all. I don't think it's bad necessarily, but I don't think it's a good remake because there's just so much going on with this game and the amount of time of development between 2 and 3, they rushed 3 out the doors in 2020 and it's just pretty short. I mean, I don't think I would play it necessarily 100% all the way through, but I don't know. This game just rubs me off wrong. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. Really fun game. I had a lot of good time. Unfortunately, I didn't get to finish it, but I did stream it once on my channel, so you can go check that out. Arcade Paradise. Just one of those indie games where you micromanage just like business. Pretty fun and all. Vampire Survivors, one of my favorite indie games out there. Roguelike. It's really addicting. That's all I can say. If you die once, you'll want to try again, and it just keeps going on and on and on, over and over. Really fun. Fallout 3 and New Vegas. Two of those I got into the same time as I got into Oblivion and Skyrim. So 2020, 2012, 2013 era. Definitely enjoy both of them. It's what got me in the Fallout series. Really, I started with 3 and the New Vegas. Could spend a whole entire video about that. As well as Fallout 4, I really anticipated this game in 2015 because we all know that how freaking big of lies Todd Howard was with his like PR giving, and he was like 16 times the detail, or it just works, all that. I'll just a lot like a lot of good memories and also bad criticisms as well. Dragon's Dogma 2. I was pretty anticipating this game as well because I finally beaten Dragon's Dogma 1 and I was like, wow, this game's pretty good, but I kind of want more, and I was waiting for this game to come out. I put it like about 15 hours into it. I still haven't beat it. I don't know what really burnt me out of well. I guess I just forced myself to play it like every day just for the sake of the streams, and who knows, maybe I'll go back and complete it again someday. Diablo 4, I tried getting into this game, but I realized that it being a like a what do you call it, like a dungeon crawler sort of emblem like RPG is just like, yeah, I've been through this before. I don't think I need to do this anymore. Stranded Deep, I tried getting in this game, but it was too confusing, too hard to understand what the game mechanics were. Stardew Valley, one of those games that my friends try to get me into, but it's just again just like Minecraft, you have to spend a lot of hours into it, and I'm not sure. Like I don't know, it's kind of hard getting into this game because of my comprehending skills and just how the game works. Dead Island 2. As much as I love the first game, unfortunately, I don't think I can say the same for this one. I mean, it went through a lot of development hell. It really was released in a time when we didn't least expect it. I tried getting to it, although as fun as it was a couple of while, I don't know, I just don't find fun in it anymore. Fallout 76, again, one of those big controversy games that released, and over the times it's got a lot better. It's a lot different now. I didn't play it at launch though. I did play the beta before I canceled my pre-order or purchase because I was just like, yeah, I just wanted to see what it was like. I play this immediately a lot after the show came out, and I honestly find myself like enjoying it more, especially with my friends coming on, and we all just had a good time together. Ghostwire Tokyo, really good game. I haven't beaten it. I like the premise. I like the gameplay. Again, Tango Gameworks, they make some really good like double A games, that you never expected. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, played it when I got my Series X at the time. Just played it a lot. I think it was one of those games that you either hate it or you like it, and I kind of like it for the most part, but I think right now with the sentiment around Black Ops 6, I think I'd rather go back and play this game. The Callisto Protocol, I played this via Game Pass, and honestly, I really want to enjoy this game, but the gameplay is just really polarizing and not that good, to be honest, especially the melee combat system. Like, I know what they were trying to go for, but they were trying to do their own sort of version of Dead Space, but it just couldn't work out. Another Crab's Treasure, one of my favorite indie game titles last year. I really loved it because it had the wit and charm, humor of SpongeBob, but also the gameplay of Dark Souls, which I play with accessibility options. So yes, I did use the gun in the game. Elden Ring, one of the anticipated games of 2022 that I played that I was really hyped for. I put a lot of hours into it. I got every single thing in the game, enjoyed it with my friends. However, I don't think I'm going to be playing another From Software game like this for a while because I'm just kind of burned out on it. Verdun was just one of those World War I simulator games back in the mid 2010s that I've discovered because I was just like roaming around. I was just like, oh, what's this game like? Because I love playing war games, and I was just like, oh, this game's pretty fun. So being able to play this again, just time timeless gameplay with my friends, even though it was only for like $5. Same with the Isanzo. Yeah, I played a lot of hours in both Verdun and the Isanzo. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Honestly, I played this game around 2022. As I said earlier before in the video, I played Mass Effect 3 on launch, but I didn't beat it. Mass Effect Legendary Edition helped me get into the franchise a lot more accessible and a lot more appealing. I beat it 1 and 2. I've went on and off dreading about 3 because of how like bum rush the development was with BioWare and EA. And last year I made a video about it with the whole Citadel expansion experience, and I think that's where I'm going to leave it off. I think that the ending of Citadel was, I think that's the true ending of Mass Effect, to be honest. Sniper Elite 5, another fun Sniper Elite game. They usually come out like every 3 to 4 years, and they always bring something new, or at least keep the same formula in mind. If you like the previous game, then you'll like this one. Aim Labs, really weird, obscure application game where you can just practice your aiming and all that. I don't know how to describe it. The First Descendant, just like Destiny, it's another one of those looter shooter games, third person. I played a couple hours into it. I don't think it's really appealing to me because it has that East Asian like marketing appearance for the gamers. Robin Hood, Sherwood Builders, terrible game. I don't recommend it. DayZ, I was pretty on and off about this game because I liked the DayZ mod for Arma 2 back in the day, but the standalone, like I think in 2022, a group of friends and I played DayZ standalone for a while, and it was just a good time blasting. So I don't know, if you like those games, you'll love it. Still Wakes the Deep, one of the best survival horror like indie games that last year that I fondly remember playing. It was just like really cool, really scary. I honestly think that this game wasn't as bad or as uncertainty as it was for me. I absolutely like the setting. I mean, you had to try and play yourself. I won't say much about it, but yeah, it's pretty good. Coffee Talk Episode 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly. Just like Coffee Talk, I think this is another nonchalant game that I really enjoy playing. I mean, just kind of the same vibe. Doom, classic novelty. I mean, you only play it for the experience. It's just Doom. Gears Tactics, I try to get into it because it's a one of those real time tactics based games like XCOM. As much as Gears has had in the last few years, I'd say this one's pretty decent compared to Gears 5. Kona, really good indie game. Honestly will recommend if you want to get into something more like an action adventure, investigative type of indie game. Same with Kona 2 Bruma. I haven't put hours into that. Probably should go back. I play a little bit of Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy because it's just Crash. There's not much more to describe it. McPixel 3, I absolutely like this game. It's really good. It's a really fun and ingenious, genuous like indie game title out there. It's got like a lot of references, like a lot of internet subcultures revolving around it. So if you like that type of game, I think this franchise is based off of just MacGyver alone, which was like a old series back in the day, like a how to get out of situation. Warhammer 40K Bolt Gun, I love it. It's one of those new boomer shooters that a lot of people, especially devs, make to bring that genre back. It's really good. I recommend it. Warhammer 40K Dark Tide. It's basically a Left 4 Dead version of Warhammer. Try to get into it. It's a really good way to get into the series, I guess. Doom 3, as much as people don't like Doom 3, I absolutely like it for its survival horror aesthetics and just trying to do its own thing. Doom 2016, I played it in 2017. It's really good. I mean, it's just Doom. There's nothing much to put it. I think Doom has just been one of those series that I really like it for its identity and just like how epic it is. X Defiant, an unfortunate circumstance with Ubisoft because they shut it down and because of development and just everything going on with Ubisoft right now. It was trying to like appeal to the Call of Duty fans that have had enough with the series at this point with Black Ops 6 and Modern Warfare 3. So they're just like, hey, come on over. This is like an arcade shooter, try to bring back like those sentiments of like old COD era. But unfortunately, with the development now and just shutting down, I don't think it's gonna survive more than a year. Age of Mythology, we're told. I played it for a few minutes. I like the deity themes and everything. The Greeks and the Nords and the Egyptians, really good. Doom 1 and 2, just basically they bundled those two games up into like a new like Unity, Unreal Engine, something sort of like that. It's much more definitive and accessible for everybody. Matt Street's really cheap knockoff beat 'em up game. I wouldn't say you would get it. I mean, it's just one of those weird games you try. Same thing with Evil West. Evil West, I heard about it, like just how Western theme it was. Like you're going up against like vampires and zombies and the undead. I played it for a few minutes. I don't know. I don't think I can see myself playing more than that. Sifu, I really love Sifu. I like the whole martial arts aesthetics, like John Woo films, like just going up and beating people up, and the whole concept that like each time you die, you grow older but more powerful, and so you have to like be on the edge of that because you're vulnerable. You're not some impervious fighter, just going around. Donut Country or Donut County, pretty goofy game, recommended. Brotato, I really like Brotato. It's one of those roguelike shooters. I mean, if you like, I mean, the art alone reminisces of like Binding of Isaac, really, and just those like indie games back in the day. But if you like roguelike shooters, then this should be good for you. Riders Republic, I only played it for a few minutes. It's just one of those racing games. All you need is help. Really goofy, wholesome game. I mean, there's not much more for me to say about it. Have a Nice Death, another indie game that I like the aesthetics to it, but I only played it for a while, and it's kind of like those 2D Metroidvania games that you just really put a lot of time to. Aliens Dark Descent, it's a tactical based game. I mean, it's just aliens. Call of Duty Black Ops 4, I played it at launch in college. One of those divisive games that will later on gain some respect and some like old sentiments about modern COD. Crash Team Racing Nitro Field, played it for a few minutes. Honestly, I don't think I'm really good at racing games to be honest. Armor Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. One of the first games I got into the series, but I haven't beaten it yet because it's made by From Software, the same people of Dark Souls. But honestly, I don't know. It's just like a test on my patience and my will to play it. Hell Let Loose, a really good World War II milsim game if you love those. I mean, again, it's just I love war games. I love playing anything that's based on historical battles. Resident Evil 4, 2005. I bought this game in 2016, I think, for Christmas or Thanksgiving, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, I play this game like on every single port besides the GameCube, the PlayStation, the Xbox, the Wii. I absolutely love the Wii edition. Playing it and be able to get it all, and then it only took me like a strength until 2021 to be able to go back to the mercenaries mode, get all 5 stars for each characters, get the hand cannon, and then beat it on professional mode, which that was pretty fun to do. Age of Empires 4, really good tactic, really good RTS game. I'd say they really nailed it. It's really good if you're into that just like StarCraft. I mean, my friends and I have been playing it like a lot last year, and just haven't been able to get that time back together. Just to be able to make dedication to play it again. Ninja Gaiden 3, Razor's Edge, probably the first Ninja Gaiden game I played because after hearing the announcement of 4, I just wanted to try out these games and I realized that I played them out of chronological error. I heard 3 is it's got some mixed reputations. I'm not sure why, but I'll have to find out later on. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, one of the best new Xbox exclusives I played a few months ago. I absolutely love it. It's got the wit, it's got the charm of the films. It's absolutely fun. It's really entertaining. I love the whole passion into it made by Machine Head Games, the guys behind Wolfenstein. I think they really nailed it. Honestly, I can't wait for more. Crisis, I tried playing it, but I don't know, like I don't know why, but this one checkpoint in the game just like keeps crashing my game and I just can't play it. Fable 1, I wanted to get into Fable, but I don't think I can because first game's a little weird. It's just one of those games at the time where you have to like push yourself through and be able to figure out like how it works, what's the setting like, how does the game respond to you. I do like the concept of your choices make decisions and affects who you are as a person. So if you do good deeds, you're as a hero. If you do bad deeds, you're like a villain, and it just like affects the world around you. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2, really good game. I actually was wanting this game last year because of how hype it was and just getting into the Warhammer franchise because of my friend and everything. I thank them for that. I really think it's really fun. It's a reminiscent of those like 360 games that you just play for fun. Really, like there's no sweat, there's no worrying like about like everything in the modern gaming industry. Sniper Elite Resistance. I mean, if you love Sniper Elite, you'll love this game. Titanfall 2. I just recently played this in February, and I was missing out. Like the campaign is really, really good. I love what Respawn Entertainment did the with this game. Like they amped the notch from like Titanfall to Titanfall 2 by like 11, and it's absolutely stellar. Like the campaign is so good. Multiplayer, I don't think. I unfortunately I played this around the time for when it was pretty dead because this game released in a weird awkward spot between Call of Duty Infinite Warfare and Battlefield 1 at that time. And it was just unfortunate because a lot of people now seem to respect Titanfall for its like identity, like its placement within the FPS genre. Call of Duty, I mean, it's just Call of Duty. Battlefield 1, I played it when it came out. Yeah, I played Battlefield 1 when it came out. It's really good. Just one of those like cult following games that you just have to play, for yourself. I For 2042, I mean, it's all right, I guess. I only played it like after all the updates and the patches went through. Like right now, it's a pretty good game, but I wouldn't say it's like the best Battlefield game. Marvel Rivals, when this game came out, we were pretty stoked about it because it was going to rival Overwatch and it was going to be like the best Overwatch. But I honestly think that again, you need friends to play this game with, because it's just one of those cooperative experiences. PUBG Battlegrounds, I mean, it's PUBG, what a joke. Rainbow Six Siege, I mean, I don't know. Make of what you will with Rainbow Six Siege. It has its following, and I wouldn't say it's bad or good, but it's just somewhere in between. Battlefield 4, I played on launch back in 2013. Honestly liked it. Right now, kind of just a memory walk, just until eagerly waiting for the next Battlefield, if that makes any sense. Gears 5, I played at lunch in college. It's all right. I think for the next step in the Gears direction with like E-Day, they're going back in the prequel. Hopefully that'll revitalize the formula and get everyone invested into it. Avowed, it's an alright game. I don't think I would complete it any other day. I mean, I think modern Obsidian isn't Obsidian as people saw back with like Fallout New Vegas and Outer Worlds and all that. Red Dead Redemption 2, one of the best like single player games. I played it on launch. I absolutely love the story, the memes, everything, the culture around it. Just like again, like Rockstar, like they make really good games, but the way they treat their fan base and everything is just so questioning. Balatro just started getting into this. I'm not a huge poker person, but I'm trying, I'm trying to get there. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, absolutely really good remake of the second game. I mean, this game alone is way easy on me into getting the franchise because it's not too hard, it's not too difficult. I mean, it has an easy mode, but I'm gonna do normal just for the sake of experiencing it for the first time. I think Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is really fun. It's really good. I like what they did. Full Throttle remaster. Again, another Double Fine Productions, LucasArts games that it's absolutely classic to the video game industry. It's really fun. You'll probably like it. Batman Arkham Knight, really good game, really good Batman game. This is probably the first Batman game I've ever played, and it kind of makes me want to go back and play the others like Arkham Asylum, City, Origins because of how just like really fun the game is, being Batman. Like, I don't usually play Batman or superhero games that often, but it's really grounded and realistic, and it's really entertaining as well. It's really interesting. Call of Duty Black Ops 2, one of the best. I mean, I played it on launch back then. Really fun. Unfortunately, filled with hackers now. Just a game that people are lamenting. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered, an oddly specific game they released in 2020 after Warzone came out, and it honestly caught everybody's surprise. I mean, it's a good campaign, but the fact that there's no multiplayer for it just kind of makes it like a bummer. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, I mean, it's Infinite Warfare. Honestly, just you love it or hate it. Into the Gungeon, try playing it. It's alright. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, I think both Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 Remastered are really good. They have that reimagining of the games, but just like, that's just the whole sentiment with the Call of community these days, is just going back and playing these old games. Insurgency Sandstorm, it's one of those tactics games that my friend got me into, and it's really fun. I absolutely like it. Just really niche game. Ninja Gaiden Sigma, it's basically Ninja Gaiden Black, but fit for the modern consoles. I know that I'm currently in the process of going through it. It's just really hard. Don't even ask me about Fortnite. Halo, the Master Chief Collection, been playing since day one when it came out in 2014. Just been a whole journey with this game. I don't think it really lets me down or anything. It's still good, still fun. There's a lot of mods for its support on Steam. Definitely definitely a recommended Xbox title. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. I'm also going through that right now. Really good. Probably my first Stalker game series, and it's really good. I love the atmosphere. Probably would make sense if I actually went back and played the other previous Stalker games, but it's just there for convenience sake. Halo Infinite, I stuck with it since day one. It's not really bad as the internet likes to grip on it. I'm a huge defender of it. I think it's better now than it was at launch, and that's just what it matters. Is just having fun, like playing with your friends and everything. Just no matter how divisive it is within the community, I still think that it's really good. And it's just the way how you see it. Like, and then the final game we get to here is Halo Wars Definitive Edition on the PC and the console. Played it at launch in 2009. Really fun RTS game. Stellar soundtrack, good vibes, good aesthetics. I mean, yeah. So yep, that pretty much sums it up. All these games I played for about like over 13 years now. So I mean, it's just a good memory lane. Just looking back at all these games, both 360 and next gen, and just like looking at how reminisce of the days I used to play as a lot as a child and now as a grown adult. I hope this video was entertaining for you guys. Let me know below the comments below. Make sure you give the video a like, subscribe for more videos and contents. Anything in the future, I'll be putting out more creative, original ideas. But yeah, other than that, this has been Woodscump, and I think we've been taking up for 2 hours, and that's about it. See ya.